Good morning. Welcome to those gathered here in Friends Hall and those watching at home on CornellBigRed.com as we introduce the Roger J. Weiss Class of 61 head coach of Cornell football, the 28th head coach in program history dating all the way back to 1887. Just a quick run of show. We're excited to hear from our VIPs who are seated here to my left, and we'll follow their messages with some questions from the Cornell community. Immediately following the program, we invite you out onto the Tanner Terrace for a lunch reception. So in the meantime, let's get going. To kick us off, I'd like to introduce Cornell's Vice President for Student Campus Life, Dr. Ryan Lombardi.
Thank you, Jeremy, and good morning, everyone, and welcome. I hope we're feeling well, and I want to also give a shout out to those who are tuned in online. I am so delighted to be with you all here today. It's really an exciting day for Cornell football as we welcome our new Roger J. Weiss Class of 61 head football coach, Dan Swanstrom, and his family to our Big Red family. Welcome. I had the chance to meet with Dan during the interview process, and then just a few minutes ago I met his wife Kristen and his lovely children Harrison, Ellie, and Joe, and his parents as well. What a great family, and we are also thrilled to welcome you all back to Ithaca. I know, Joe, that's a little bittersweet, but we're really glad to have you back. As I said to Dan during our interview process, Cornell is deeply committed to supporting an exceptional student-athlete experience, both on and off the field. We as an institution have and will continue to invest substantial additional resources in the department in the last year and in the years ahead to make sure that we can meet this aspiration. It's my view that varsity athletics and the football program are a vital part of this student and this community experience at Cornell. Our coaches, they're educators. Our student athletes, you're incredible Cornellians, balancing your training, your competition, with what we all know to be a pretty rigorous academic experience, right? Dan, you have a really strong foundation to build upon, and we are all looking forward to your future at Cornell. Can't wait to cheer you and, of course, the team on the field this coming fall. To share more about Dan and our hopes for this new era of Cornell football, I'll soon turn the microphone over to the Meekum Smith Director of Athletics and Physical Education, Dr. Nikki Moore. It's hard to believe it was actually 53 weeks ago to this day in this room where we were providing a very similar welcome to Nikki and her family as they joined the Big Red family. And on that day, Nikki told us about her goals, among them to live up to the standards of the Big Red for those that came before her, but to aim even higher in the pursuit of winning together. And I can say that over the last 12 months and 1 week, that Nikki has shown us again and again her commitment to those goals and what it takes, and it takes that responsibility seriously to meet those goals, now our shared goals for the Big Red. So Dan, you have joined this department, this institution, and Cornell football at an exciting time in our journey, and I know you'll be an excellent addition to the team. We're thrilled to have you, and I'll now turn it over to Nikki to provide some more details. Thank you all very much.
Welcome, everyone. In the words of Cornell's legendary championship coach, Richie Moran, it's great to be here. And how lucky are we to be introducing Cornell's new Roger J. Weiss Class of 61 head football coach on a day like today in a place like the Robeson Family Hall of Fame room overlooking Sholkoff Memorial Stadium. How good it is to be surrounded by friends and family, by great colleagues, and good people, and reminders of the outstanding student athletes who have built a rich, shared Cornell athletics history upon which we now aspire to build. Today, we charge into the next era of Cornell football by introducing the 28th head coach of a program that began 154 years ago in 1869, just 4 years after Ezra Cornell and Andrew Dixon White founded the institution, and just 1 year after it opened its doors to students in 1868. Before proceeding with the introduction of our new head ball coach, I want to share my heartfelt gratitude to those who have supported the search and have supported the vision for the next era of Cornell football. Thank you to interim head coach Jared Backus, who has guided this program seamlessly over the last few weeks, maintaining our drive to recruit the next great class of Cornell football student athletes and providing stability and leadership to our current student athletes. A special thank you to Dick Emmett, Cornell football class of 1995, who along with his wife Jackie have supported this program for years with their mentorship and with their generosity, and who have infused the early days of this new era with a positive and connective energy that is building our Cornell football community into a positive force that I know will energize and support our new coach and our program in this new chapter. I'm so grateful for the support of university leadership. President Pollock offered her support and comments in our announcement yesterday. Board Chair Craig Kaiser has pledged his personal support to this effort to build and develop this program. Vice President Ryan Lombardi has given us additional support that he referenced to ensure that we could not only build a great program, a greater program, but to ensure that we could run this search in a highly professional manner and to attract the most talented candidates who were aligned and with our vision and who were fantastic people. And I'll just say that alignment is magical. So thank you also to members of our Student Athlete Search Advisory Group and to those on our Alumni Search Advisory Group and to several other former great players and coaches who were associated with some of our most successful eras in Cornell football history. Our tireless search committee members who offered expertise and Cornell-specific insights included the Willis H. Carrier Professor in Engineering and Football Faculty Liaison, Dr. Matt Miller, the Robert W. and Elizabeth C. Staley Dean of Students, Dr. Marla Love, the Richard M. Moran Head Coach of Men's Lacrosse, Connor Busick, and the Terry Cullen Head Coach of Sprint Football, Nick Quartaro. Also, members of our Administrative Search Committee included Senior Deputy Athletics Director Laura Segreci, Senior Deputy Athletics Director Amy Foster, Senior Associate Athletics Director Jeremy Hardigan, and Executive Director for Alumni Affairs and Development, Tom Gabi. Through hours of listening from all of you, paired with my very fortunate experience with championship level coaches and programs over the course of my career, we developed a very clear profile for the successful candidate for whom we were searching. We searched for one among many diverse candidates who is a person of strong integrity and high character, who possesses a championship mindset and is driven to win the right way, has a compelling and aligned vision for the future of Cornell football, and has experience at academically rigorous institutions, is committed to student athlete and staff well-being, is an experienced, intentional, intelligent, and caring leader, is deeply passionate about the game of football, is committed to diversity, equity, and inclusion, and to being a great colleague, is curious, creative, and possesses a thirst for learning and personal excellence, is a strong communicator, and embraces the broad community that is Cornell football, appreciates the unique opportunities and characteristics of Cornell University, and sets and maintains high standards and demands personal accountability for the program and for our student athletes on and off the field. This search has given me a great opportunity and the very good fortune of interacting with some incredible people from across the country and representing all levels of this great game of football. I'm grateful for the pool of very highly qualified candidates who were interested in this job, yet there was something very special about our successful candidate who stood out and who matched what we were searching for almost perfectly. I should have known something was up when I got a text from Bernie DePalma about this candidate. I'm confident that we have found the right person with the right skills for this particular position at this particular time in the history of Cornell football. Our successful candidate has nearly 17 years of football coaching experience and has won 11 championships in those 17 years. As head coach of Ithaca College, he compiled a 32-11 record, winning at least 8 games each season, winning 3 Liberty League titles, winning a bowl title in his first season, and, I understand this is a touchy subject, won the Cortica game 3 out of 4 years. And his players achieved success on and off the field, with 43 earning all academic, all district honors, and 6 being named All-Americans. He was an assistant coach for 2 stints at Penn for a total of 5 seasons, supporting them to 2 Ivy League titles during the first, and in the second stint, in the past 2 years, remaking their offense, going from, in total offense, from last in the Ivy League to first in just 2 years. From 2008 to 2013, our new coach rose from an assistant coach to associate head coach and offensive coordinator at Johns Hopkins. During that time, the team won 5 Centennial Conference titles, a 48-10 record, and 4 League Players of the Year. He began his career as an assistant at Stratford High School in Houston, Texas, and became a graduate assistant coach at the University of Redlands in California, coaching quarterbacks and wide receivers and helping the program to the 2007 Southern California Intercollegiate Athletics Conference title. He grew up in Houston, Texas, where his parents still live, and sought out an undergraduate school where he could both play football and challenge himself academically. That led him to Rhodes College in Memphis, Tennessee, and he distinguished himself there as the school's all-time leader in career total offense, becoming a top 10 finalist for Division III's Heisman Trophy, the Gagliardi Award, and served his team as a 2-time captain. He even won a championship in his post-college playing career with the Darmstadt Diamonds in the German Football League. So not only has our coach won titles literally every place he's been, he has also learned from legendary mentors, and he has a championship-level family. And we are so pleased to welcome you all here today. And finally, I want to share in the words of 2 legendary coaches who have worked directly with our new coach. Al Bagnoli, head coach at Penn during our coach's first stint there, and one of the all-time winningest college football coaches, said, "He is an excellent choice to lead the Big Red football program. He is a bright, hardworking, innovative coach with a proven track record of success wherever he has been." And in the words of one of his early and impactful mentors, the late Jim Margraf, who coached at Johns Hopkins for 29 seasons, winning 14 league titles, "He is fantastic, a star in the making. He is a very talented, very smart football coach. He is highly competitive, quiet, but very determined. He will outwork everyone, and his ability to teach is just the best." Personally, as I got to know our new head coach through the search process, I found myself learning from him, being inspired by his drive, his vision, his energy, and I felt my own inner, slightly latent athlete sitting on the edge of my chair and wanting to become a better leader myself, and excited about partnering with him in this next era of Cornell football. I am so pleased to introduce to you our new Cornell University Roger J. Weiss Class of 61 football coach, Dan Swanstrom.
That's great. You guys don't even know me yet. That's awesome. So this is the best it's going to be. First, I just want to start. Thank you, Nikki. Thank you, Ryan, for this amazing opportunity going through that process. And I certainly don't want to forget Laura, deeply involved in the process. And it was an amazing experience. You know, these past couple of weeks, getting to know everybody better, talking to the administration, seeing your vision and your goals for this athletic program, just made this an absolute no-brainer. And I couldn't be more excited to just stand in front of you guys right now as your next head football coach. It's truly amazing. What a gift. It's good to see you guys. Thanks for the effort. just so you guys know, like I got the job like 24 hours ago. So my parents were down in Texas, and they've been over backwards to be here, rearranged schedules, got on crazy flights and driving. My dad drove through the night, so a lot of effort here to be here, so it's special. Look, I see a lot of the guys in this room, see a lot of the players, and I learned something very early is you just never miss an opportunity to coach your guys. And I think what an amazing moment sitting here and seeing all you guys here and having the first chance to stand in front of you and deliver a message and try to be meaningful and impactful with my words and what I'm going to say. And it's interesting enough, you know, about this date too, as we went through it, in December of 2016, I was named the head football coach at Ithaca College, almost to the exact same date. And we did the press conference on a Friday. And Susan Bassett, the director of athletics over at Ithaca College, I also want to thank her for giving me the opportunity to be a first-time head coach and believe in me and giving me that opportunity. And I think it's important to share this with you as I look at familiar faces in this room, and I'm going to go in a different direction because there's some faces I recognize and there's some people I know in this room a little bit. And then seeing the amount of players in here, I'm kind of going to change where I'm going. So, you know, I get hired as the head football coach at Ithaca College. I'm 33 years old, and, you know, it's baptism by fire. You know, you're trying to figure everything out. You're trying to learn how to become a head coach. And those first 2 years, I didn't know it. But I was doing an impersonation of the coaches I'd been around, the great coaches. You know, I just really wasn't authentic to myself. You know, I was doing an impersonation of Al Bagnoli. I was doing an impersonation of Jim Margraf. And through that experience, you know, that's what I thought coaching was. I was just doing this in person. I was just giving a handout to the players. I was giving a handout to the coaches. But I didn't live it. You know, I didn't breathe it. I couldn't verbalize it. It wasn't tangible to the coaches. It wasn't tangible to the players. And I learned that the hard way. You know, I was teaching a class at Ithaca College. I was teaching a coaching seminar class. And it's a true, you know, it's a true class, a 3-credit class. I taught it Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. There's 20 students in the classroom. And we had 2 football players, 2 team captains, Johnny Haddock and Nick Garone. And they were our captains, and they were rising seniors. And I'm going through the process of teaching that class, and then I get to the part of the class where I teach coaching philosophy. And I go, okay, well, what I'm going to do is I'm such a good teacher over these past 2 years at Ithaca College and teaching this football team. I'm going to bring them up, and I'm going to have them teach the class exactly what our program standards are. And I'll sit back and just be a proud head football coach over here. So I bring them up, standards, expectations, what's our philosophy, what are we about? And they stood up there, and it couldn't have gone any worse. I promise you when I tell you, it was just jumbled words, buzzwords of coaching, platitudes, and things like that, and it was just an absolute mess. And the other 18 students are looking at me going, this guy's a terrible teacher. And I sit there, and I was mortified. And everyone in this room, I was mortified. I just realized at that moment that I had no clue what I was doing as a head football coach in 2 years. And it's great to see Dr. Greg Shelley here because I reached out to him immediately. And I don't know if you remember this, but we met weekly for a very extended period of time. He would meet with me every single week. He would meet with our staff once a month. And, you know, we went through every thing you could about leadership. Look, I had a system of offense that was successful. I had a system of defense that was successful. I learned a system of special teams that was successful. But what I didn't have was I didn't have a system for culture and a system for leadership. And me and Greg, we got together, and he gave me everything you could ever imagine. It was a PhD in leadership, one-on-one, week after week. And what I found is there was a lot of great, valuable information, but it didn't matter until I wrote it myself. So I just consumed as much information I could. I kept meeting with Greg. And that summer, I went and rewrote exactly what I wanted a football program to look like. And I started and went backwards, starting with exactly what do I want practice to look like? What do I want game day to look like? What do I want you guys to look like in the classroom? What do I want my football program to look like off the field? Okay, well, once I answered those questions, then I could work backwards, right? Now, what are the things we can do to make that happen? What does that look like? Okay? And so I reverse engineered the whole football program, and that's when I rewrote the whole coaching philosophy, what I believed in. And I needed to make it tangible for the players, and I needed to make it tangible for the coaches. And that's when I found my voice. And that's where I found how to become a head coach. That's where I found a system of leadership through the help of Dr. Greg Shelley over there. And that's where I've really hit my stride as a coach. And I'm so much more prepared in this moment to lead you guys to become a successful football program right at this moment than I was at that moment. And so sitting here with that separation, being a fundamentally different person and a fundamentally different coach, fires me up about what I can do in a leadership position to get us where we want to go. Like I said, we'll have a system of offense, we'll have a system of defense, we'll have a system of special teams, we'll have a system in strength and conditioning, player development, what the classroom looks like, what we look like off the field. But truly the X factor is a complete, deep understanding of what true intentional leadership looks like. And it's going to be tangible, it will be clearly defined, and we will try to hold that standard every single day. Simply put, the way I see it, everything we do can fit under the commitment to excellence, under that umbrella. And how we define excellence is incremental growth. It sounds so easy. It sounds so easy to get a little bit better every single day. But trust me, everybody in this room needs to understand right now, the hardest thing to do is get a little bit better every single day. And simply put, some people can go there and get it one day, but then the next day you fall under, and then the next day you come back, and maybe you get 2, 3 good days in a row. But then that 4th day is too tough. You didn't sleep right, you didn't hydrate, you didn't do the things that were necessary. You know, you didn't sit up front in class, you didn't take notes, you didn't go restudy your notes after class. You have good days, you have bad days, but as long as we know the standards and expectations, and we know exactly how they're defined, then we can self-check each other to create that incremental growth. You never waste an opportunity to stand in front of your team and not start the educational process of getting better. And I'll tell you this, and everybody knows this, the 2024 season's under construction. We don't have much time, so we got to get to work. And I can't wait to get to work with you guys. I am truly excited to be your next head football coach. You guys can see the emotion, you can see the passion, and man, this is a special day, and it's a special moment being in front of you guys. And if there's anything you need, I'm excited to be here, ready to go to work for you guys. You know, I kind of went in a different direction, but just seeing the amount of players, I just thought this was such a good moment to move forward. So with that, thank you everybody for having me. Once again, thank you for bringing me to Cornell. I couldn't be more excited to be standing in front of you as your next head football coach. Go Big Red.
Okay, guys, we have time for a few questions. Marshall back here has a microphone. Please raise your hand. Marshall will come over to you and you can ask some questions for Coach.
Dan, congratulations. Welcome back to town. What was the most enticing part of this position for you in making your return back to Ithaca?
Well, I mean, obviously I know the area. I know the area well. You know, spending 5 years here, living here, being a part of this community, and then we've got great friends. We've got great relationships in the area. But I told Nikki through the process, too, that was secondary to the football part. And I think the biggest thing for me was just the communication with Nikki, the communication with Ryan, and understanding that there is a real appetite to get the football program where it needs to go. You're going to see here, I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about the past. I wasn't here. There's nothing I can do about it. So I'm just going to focus on moving forward. But there is a legitimate vision here to have a great football program. And once I understood that, I just wanted to make sure I put my best foot forward with the committee so they knew I was truly passionate and excited about this opportunity to be the head football coach at Cornell.
Hey, Coach. I just wanted to ask you, what does success look like for you next year? Because a lot of us in this room are seniors, and I know there's kind of sometimes a rebuilding process when the head coach comes in, but obviously we want to win now. So what does success look like for next year?
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing you're going to learn from me here is let me worry about the big picture, okay? What I said what I said just a few minutes ago is really got to be understood by the players and the coaches is right now the only thing we're going to worry about is truly the commitment to excellence and incremental growth each and individual day. The processes that will be put in the standards and the expectations, we're going to be a process-driven football program. Everything's going to be measured in very short metrics. It's going to be, how did we do in this drill? How did we do in this practice? How did we do in the off season? What did the running program look like? What did we look like in the weight room this day? That's going to be the success. And when you guys hit those moments of, what me and Dr. Shelley would call committed actions within the football program, we're going to celebrate the daylights out of it. So you guys know exactly what that looks like. And when we fall below the line, we're going to coach and teach you to make sure we don't fall below the line. And those are the things that we're going to really, really harp on. And trust me, when we won 5 straight conference championships at Johns Hopkins, we didn't put the ball down the 6th year and start having these big, giant visions about what we were going to do the next year. We worried about what was right in front of us. What does the next lift look like? Are we going to maximize that? What does the next, piece in our program look like? How are we going to maximize that? Now, are you truly a committed student athlete? You know what I mean? Like, football-wise, if you do everything we ask you as coaches, that is just a compliant student athlete. Are you willing to do the committed actions, diet, hydration, conscious about your sleep? How are you treating your body on the weekends? Like, these are things that actually are important, but that is the metric of what we're going to measure the individual athlete by and the team is incremental growth. We're not going to talk about anything except getting better, and we'll truly believe in a Bill Walsh quote, the score will take care of itself. That's the philosophy.
Thank you. Congratulations, Coach, and welcome. What are your thoughts on your staff and the priorities for your staff? I know you've only had the job for 24 hours. You probably don't have your full staff complete yet.
Yeah.
But as you think about the staff and your priorities for that, that's question one. Question two, what are your priorities for this program on this campus as far as the broader Ithaca community, the broader Cornell community?
Yeah, I think starting with the staff part, for me, evaluating a staff, first, I haven't worked with anybody that's currently on staff, but what we look for when you're hiring a staff or retaining a staff and you're looking at football coaches, I think for me, it can really be defined in 3 prongs. I'm a person who likes to surround myself with the best. I like to have people with great ideas, great visions, and an appetite for work. So really the 3 things I look for are intelligence above all else. I look for people who are intrinsically motivated, don't need outside forces to get them going, moving in the right direction. And then they truly care about the student athlete. And you look at those 3 things, you're like, oh, that sounds so easy. We can find a million of those guys. But the truth is when you look at it, there's egos, there's a lot of different things that get in the way of truly defining what an assistant football coach looks like at Cornell. But that's the 3-pronged system that I'll be looking for within our football staff. And then as far as my broader, there's people in this room, and you can see the relationships that I've already developed with my time at Ithaca College and what I did, being there. But like, I like sports. I grew up, I'm a gym rat. I played every single sport you could ever imagine. I love being in a higher education setting, being at a beautiful school like this. Why wouldn't I want to be a part of as many things as I could possibly be a part of? And I will, and you'll see me on campus. I'll be at a million sporting events. We'll be in the community. I'll see Dave out at golf, putting around on his golf cart. You know what I mean? So I'm around. I know, I'll be around, and I'll make that a big part of my job description. But I also want everyone in this room to understand, I wake up every day completely understanding what my mission is here as the head football coach. And if I can keep these two priorities in line, we'll be okay. Number one, the growth and the development of the student athlete in the football program is number one, my number one priority, and that will never change. And then number two, once I finish that part of my day, is the recruitment of the best student athletes here to the Cornell football program. Then from there, on my daily checklist, I can get into 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and however far that goes.
We have time for one more question if you have it.
Hey, Coach. Congratulations again. So you mentioned briefly there just about recruiting, and what do you think are some of the keys to recruiting players to what's a smaller town and getting people to a program like Cornell?
Yeah, we have to be able to go and find 27 great football players from across the country every single year. I think we have an unbelievable setting. We have an unbelievable campus. Aesthetically, there's nothing that compares to it, being up on the hill over the lake. We have the best college town in the country. I was down there last night. Me and my mother had a chance to grab some food, and the energy and excitement of being down there is incredible. I think it's an absolutely fantastic place. And it's my job going through the process of talking to players from every corner across this country to make sure they get the information about this school academically, about the setting that we're in, and how uniquely special a 4-year experience at Cornell could be. I'm excited because of all the great things that are here to sell a student athlete to be a part of our football program.
Thank you, guys. We're going to.
Sorry, we have one more thing. One more quick thing. Coach, this is a necessary part of this process, and you got to suit up. It's time to suit up and get out there. So pleased to welcome you as our new head coach. So we'll take a quick picture, and then one more thing. We have Bill and Gina, Dad and Mom. We have Kristen, his wife, Harrison, Ellie, and Joe. Come on up.
Scoot down a little bit.
All right. Thanks so much to all of you for being here.